Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Daily Happy Days. In this channel, we like to think about all the things that bring us joy, whether simple or extravagant. We need to appreciate life every single day. And the mantra was coined by our lovely Toddler, who when she first started expressing herself would always go, happy day, happy day. And you know, it's stuck and I love it. So I try to think about how I can always have a happy day and make sure my family does too. So for today's first video, to get started, I want to talk about a topic that, it wasn't like at the forefront of my mind when I became a mom. I was focused on things like breastfeeding, baby led weaning, how do I want to teach my child their first words and stuff. But what totally slipped the radar was potty training. And Lord, that was like an all-out battle. Like, I didn't realize how crazy potty training was. So I want to share with you, as someone who is now at the trenches and is on the other side, some of my tips and tricks and the way we approach potty training that maybe will be helpful for you. So let's get started. First, when we started potty training, our daughter was about 18 months old. And I say introducing potty training because the expectations really weren't too high. But we first started out with was just like, what are some easy transitions to get her to try to mimic what we're doing? And of course, she always wants to do what mommy's doing and what daddy's doing. So hey, let's get you a little potty that looks like the big potty and you could try to do. We were lucky that she didn't mind sitting on it, and we, made sure that before we entered this journey, she was doing some of the basic things that kind of meant she was ready to start. So she could sit up by herself, she could kind of get to the potty, she could express herself a little bit, like yes, no, and most importantly, she was having longer spells of dry diapers. So the transitions that we focused on first in those early months when we started was just when she wakes up, before a bath, and before bed. So those are the times we'd offer the potty. Keyword, offer the potty. And she didn't want to sit on it. It wasn't a big deal. But we tried to have a potty playlist, some of her favorite songs, and really just make it like a potty party, Our girl loves music. We tried other incentives like stickers and things like that, but never food rewards or anything. But really the music was the main thing that would kind of get her to maybe want to try. After a few months of her being okay with those transitions, we would just gradually start to add more. So I would say between a 3 to 6 month period, it was just gradually adding more. So what does that mean? Now we're going to try to do transitions between meals. Now we're gonna see if we offer you to go potty while we're at the park. Will you go? And also when we're at grandma and grandpa's house, when we're traveling to the library, will you actually try to use the potty there? Let them know, hey, there are potties in other places. There's a porta potty that I bring with me. So she can go potty in the car. But just getting her familiar with going to the bathroom doesn't just happen at home. After we kind of did some of these things and experimented with her, being out and about pottying, we tried to have her go to training underwear at one point because I thought, she's ready. She got this down pat. And there were days between those first 3 to 6 months of loosely training her where she would do all her potty in the potty. So I was the overachiever in me was let's go to underwear. So the first underwear I bought was the training underwear. And that's the thicker underwear. And I was I'm the kind of person where I'm not really trying to deal with accidents. I never had a dog or an animal that I had to train to use the bathroom. Like we have a cat, and the cat just uses the litter like innately, like just knows to do that. So I was not the type where I was like trying to mess with like accidents. So I tried the training underwear, but she like quickly almost like started regressing when we used that, because she would just treat it like a diaper. Like she didn't care if she got wet. So that made us kind of like return back to just like focusing on transitions. When it became close to the holiday season, you know, I decided that like she understands how to potty. We just need to really just make it clear that we're using a potty and that's it. So similar to maybe like a 3-day method or whatever, I just made the decision that like we are not going back to diapers. And I communicated that with her father. I told everybody that like, look, homegirl is about to embark on this full-fledged journey of no diapers, right? So first of all, when you move on to this next phase, you just need to make sure it's clear to everybody, everyone's on board, because you don't want people sneaking diapers on your child and doing all that and then making them think like, oh, okay, now I'm back at diapers. Like, no, we all need to be on the same page. We are a united front, underwear only. So since I knew I would be less busy during the holidays and could keep an eye to make sure that this was actually happening, I figured that would be a good time to really ditch the diapers fully. My approach to ditching diapers in comparison to maybe some of the things you've seen online with like 3-day method and like all those things that I feel like are a little much, I still put underwear on her. So we got like regular thin cotton underwear, toddler underwear. We put the underwear on her and we just let her do her thing in the house with her underwear on and a big t-shirt, and basically like got magnet tiles and different puzzles and things that she could just like play around with while standing. We did a lot of cooking so she could stand on her tower and cook with me, whatever, to kind of keep her standing, because I didn't want her to have an accident on the couch. So doing that, she actually was able to like see herself have an accident, and not like you don't need to be naked to achieve seeing yourself have an accident. The regular underwear is thin enough where if you have an accident, it dribbles down your leg a little. So like that achieved, you know, that goal of, hey, you know what an accident looks like, you know, with your underwear on, versus the training underwear that would just absorb all of it. So she never really understood like what an accident looked like when I would put those on her, which I think was like the disconnect before. So having the underwear, seeing the accident made a huge difference. And I would say, you know, definitely in like 3 or 4 days, she understood. Like she would tell me, oh, that I had an accident, or oh, she would just like disappear and like go to the tiny potty, because we would, during this phase, we would use the tiny potty, so she would have it in the living room. So if she had to go, she could like potentially just sneak off and use it. So she knew. And after a while, like within those few days, we kind of knew that when homegirl's like running amok around the house, acting crazy, like, oh, she got a potty. Like every kid has different cues. Like she wasn't doing the quintessential like potty dance. She wasn't holding herself like that. She would just wild out, and that would mean she had the potty. So that helped me know her cues. So then when we started to go out that week, like to the library, just places close where, you know, it's like a 10-15 minute drive, so she could like understand what it may feel like to just not have her diaper on or anything in the car. She would know that, and then when we go out, I would try to see the cues. You know, I missed it a few times. She has an accident. Oh well, just make sure you're bringing extra pairs of clothes and underwear, like 2 or 3 pairs when you go out. And she gets it. Like she realizes like, oh, I had an accident at the library. If I would have just went potty, we wouldn't have had to do all this changing of clothes, and I could have still played. Like pottying isn't gonna stop my day. Like that's what she had to learn, you know? So even though I feel like in, you know, a week's time, when you really, really focus solely on them, you can get them potty trained to the extent where you know their cues, they know the feeling, and they will start initiating. But your expectations need to be realistic. These are toddlers. These are babies. I mean, they don't 100%, you know, catch everything. So you still need to keep a timer on, kind of think to yourself like, oh, it's been like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. Start thinking about like how long they hold it. So then you could cue them at that time. You could keep asking them, do you need the potty? Do you need the potty? But they're most likely going to say no. So you still need to kind of prompt them and really focus on those transitions so they at least know, before I leave the house, I potty. When I get to my destination, I potty. And to save yourself some headache, heartache, and time, I suggest putting a pull-up or some of your old diapers that you're about to stop using over their underwear. So then when you're out and about in the car or in public, if they have an accident, you won't necessarily make a huge mess, but they'll know that they had an accident. You could pretty much tell, like you could check, and you don't have to worry about like, man, I really couldn't find a extra pair of clothes. And that would be helpful like during that time when we were still going to parties and stuff, for like family gatherings or traveling like 2 hours in the car, and we didn't want to feel as if we had to do a whole changing session if she had an accident. We did that potty boot camp, I'll call it, when she turned 2. And that was about 6 months after she was initially introduced to pottying. So after that week boot camp, that I'll call it, where we all were able to give her our undivided attention when it came to pottying, pretty much after that, although there were some regressions in the first 3 months where maybe like, if she was really upset, she might pee herself, or if she's really tired, she may pee herself, or she had like a good 2-3 weeks where she would just poop first thing in the morning in her underwear, like stuff like that, But those things are phases. You just stick with it. You keep a positive attitude. You keep telling them like, accidents happen. It's cool. Have grace, have patience. And I say this now while I'm on the other side, because Lord knows I was having a little breakdown at one point when she was regressing. But at the end of the day, after that, I would say it only gets better. It only gets better from then. And then they start to be able to communicate more. They can say they need the potty, and you are on the other side. So my recap of my tips and some food for thought for any parent that's embarking on the potty training journey is to, 1, start early by introducing the concept. Let them mimic you, let them see it, make a potty playlist, like set the mood for the potty time. Set the mood, okay? 2, focus on key routines and transitions. You want to make sure that you're in a routine. It doesn't have to be like strict, but just like keep up those key transitions so they know this is when I give it a try. This is when I give it a try. Use some hacks for layering when you go out. I already told you about putting a pamper or old diaper over the underwear to prevent a messy situation when you're going out. You also can get an insert for your car seat that absorbs water or liquid, so if they have an accident in the car, it won't ruin the car seat. And you can also put it in your stroller. Be consistent. Try not to go back. Like, honestly, first of all, I feel like the motivation is like saving money on diapers. Like, really, let's save money on diapers. I was so excited to save money on diapers. That was really all the motivation I needed, not to go back. So really try not to go back to diapers once you say, I'm going to commit to moving forward with the undies. But also be real, like when you try, if you really feel like they're not getting it, it's not clicking, just go back to step 1 of focusing on transitions and maybe give it another month or 2 before you try it. I would say something that's really helped me as we transitioned out of Pampers and diapers is we started using reusable diapers. So we call them our sleepy diapers. And when we use our sleepy diapers, she knows that we use those at nap time and overnight, and those are her diapers, for that. So, try not to keep diapers in the house, and like honestly, transitioning to the reusable diapers, like I feel like really made it easy not to go back to diapers because I just don't have them. I don't have them. they don't exist here. 5, stay calm and try not to overreact. I know it's hard when you're in the thick of it. It's a battle. It's a war. Like potty training was like, I was just like, what the hell? All the time. I was like, what is going on here? Why am I dealing with poop and pee? Like, as I said, stay calm. That's easy to say now, but truly stay calm. Give these kids grace. They're learning. You're learning. We're all learning. 6, help them be confident in all environments. Like, you want them to feel like pottying just isn't in the house. You want them to potty everywhere. So you just want them to get comfortable. You don't want them to be scared of the flushing. Like, really try to just make them be comfortable in multiple places. It'll make it easier. 7, don't stop your life for pottying. Like, you don't need to feel like you need to be trapped in the house forever while they're still trying to get it. Just, have your safeguards, use your hacks. Let everybody in the family know we're potty training. They should get it, So, like, don't stop life, because pottying is a part of life. We all do it. And that's what our kids need to learn. So don't try to keep them in a sheltered bubble while you achieve this goal. Keep doing the things that make you happy. I just want to leave you with just the types of products that I use that I've thought were actually helpful. So 1, the tiny potty that looks like a big potty. That was the first thing that was helpful in this journey. 2, travel potty. So that can be one like the one we use. You put a bag in it for when you are on the go, and then you can also open it up so it could be a toilet seat reducer so they can go on a big toilet. That was super helpful. It's great for public restrooms. It's great for the car. It's great for when we go to people's houses. I love it. 3, I would say is the stepping stool potty. As they kind of graduate to the next level of understanding how to go potty, they're going to want to be independent. Like, who's not going to want to just go to the bathroom on their own? So having some type of stepping stool potty or a stepping stool so they can get on there if they're that coordinated is perfect, so they can get on the potty by themselves and have that autonomy. And then I would also say just regular cotton underwear. Like, skip the training underwear, just get regular cotton underwear. And the last thing I would say is reusable diapers. You want to make sure you don't have diapers in the house. You don't want to relapse. You don't want to go back. So get some reusable diapers. I use the Honest brand. I love them. It was easy. It wasn't too complicated with all the snaps and all that. It's Velcro. So yeah, get some reusable diapers. And then also I got a reusable wet sheet for her bed. So if she does wet the bed, there is it's like a terry cloth type of wet sheet. But you also could just put down fleece blankets and put those down, like some old fleece blankets, and that absorbs the pee. So I hope this video was really helpful. Please comment below and tell me, what was your favorite tip? What's something that you've done that worked for you? Like, tell me, like, girl, what you said don't make no sense. Like, please tell me, what do you think? And if there are any tips that you have, things that you've done or your friends have done that really worked, or you swear about when it comes to potty training, like, drop it there, pay it forward. Like, we are all in this together. Potty training was a battle, as I said, and I really wish that there were more like realistic videos of what this journey looks like. So I made my video. So yeah, I hope to chat with you guys in the comments, get to know me. I plan to make more videos soon, so please subscribe and have a happy day. Bye.